Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to The Wealth Puzzle, put on by us, Mike Mansfield and Tana Pennington here at the Lynd Group. This is an exciting new thing for us, though. Tana is here. So that was a tragic entry into the show. Maybe I do a little bit better. Normally I introduce Tana as like the mystery person, but we're doing something new here. Now, everybody listening to this show this week doesn't know what we're doing yet because this is the debut.
A work in progress. That's for sure.
Right up. So we've decided to take the true success of the podcast, which I think is somewhere between 3 to 7 listeners a month. What's a joke, Tana? Nothing. You were like you stonewalled me on that.
I know. I'm like,
I was looking for some kind of something and I got nothing. Anyways, we've decided to expand the show to actually being a video show. So we're doing a recording. So not just a podcast. Now, granted, Mr. and Mrs. Podcast listeners, you can still log in every week. You can still download our podcast. You can listen to our podcast. All of that is going to work great. But over the years, Tana and I have always griped that it's kind of tough when you're just doing a podcast because you spend so much time just trying to describe some things when sometimes the picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, bad news. If you're listening to a podcast, you still can't see the pictures, but still we'll be talking about these things and describing them anyways. But we're recording the show now. It is exciting. You get to see my beautiful, cheery face. Typically Monday mornings when we make this. You'll even notice in this first video, I in no way attempted to dress nicely for it or shave.
Nope.
That's because I'm just pure grunge, pure work. There is no fluff in my life anymore. It's down to business. But we're going to be putting the show on YouTube, so it'll be on the Lynd Group YouTube channel. We will title them by the week and by the show and all of that to try to match up with our podcasts. We will also be posting them on Rumble, which is an alternative to YouTube. We just want to make sure that we're putting all this stuff on as many platforms as we can so everybody can access it how they choose. Just like with the podcast. What do we got? We're on Spotify. We're on Apple, I don't know what it's called, Tana. Apple Pods. That sounds like the actual things inside the apples where the seeds are. And then whatever the Google thing is. You can tell how tech savvy I am by the way I described all of those podcast download options.
Yes, very techie.
See, I got my wire cut. See, I'm in a panic here. I'm on video. I don't know what's going on. This is, like I said, though, this is a work in progress, right? Tana and I, we have very grand ideas on how to beautify this. We're setting up recording studios or, maybe I will dress better or something like that. Who knows? I also noticed in this first video, though, and I don't know if it's an oddity or not, why is my mic pointed up and Tana's is pointed down? Does that mean anything? Is that our attitudes towards life? Tana is a constant downer. No, it looks better. It looked better the other way. So you're blowing it.
I'm well, on some issues I will be
You're blowing the shot. You're blowing the shot. Stop it. Oh, now your thing's broken. Geez Louise.
So
you shouldn't have touched it.
I know. It's okay. I'll fix it.
It's like those rocks at the beach. You ever go down the beach and see like someone magically like stacked 15 rocks?
Those are really cool.
I know, but how do you ever tried to do that?
No.
I swear they're using a glue stick. There's no way.
That's so awesome.
Anyways, so that's kind of the exciting news for us. Once again, we're putting this on video. You'll be able to view the podcast if you'd like to see it in person, see us through YouTube or through Rumble at the moment. The other nice thing about loading them is we have to use an editor that edits and kind of tweaks and fixes the audio version of the show. So it generally takes, 3, 4, 5 days for it to get posted online. I think at this point, because we have no clue how to edit a video, once again, tech savvy here, infancy, we're probably going to be loading the video version of our podcast quicker in the week. So that'll probably be available just, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday of the week, whereas the podcast is normally Friday. So the good news is if you're just chomping at the bit to see what Mike has to say, what Tana thinks,
it's exciting.
You might be able to get at it a little sooner. So either way, exciting news, evolution. Tana and I are trying to figure out things. Like we got all these different backgrounds we can try here. I made a big and a little. So there's big, there's little. So now for the video
Which one do you like
viewers,
better?
I need to know, do you like big? Do you like little? Big, little. Anyways, once again, the radio listeners are like, what's happening over there? Anyways, told you you're missing out, right? You gotta.
Yes.
In any case, all right, down to business. So lots been going on in the world. Just over the weekend, the Senate did something, Tana. What did the Senate do that was so kind to you specifically? They said those Penningtons, they need something.
No, we don't, unfortunately. But yes, passing the stimulus bill.
Yeah, it's quite a thing, right? You know, so just in January, they passed a $900 billion stimulus bill.
Yeah.
This is coming off of trillions that were spent last year in the CARES Act. So over the weekend, the Senate passed the $1.9 trillion. That's trillion with a T.
That is a lot of money.
Uppercase T, trillion. I know nobody, trillions, a milli, nobody cares about these numbers anymore. But yeah, it's almost $2 trillion. It was passed over the weekend. It's still got to go through the House, but that should be easy peasy with Speaker Pelosi over there. She wants to make it happen. It's her thing. So Tana, let's do the Tana math. How many people live in your household, Tana?
So me and my husband.
Okay.
And then I have 2 younger children.
2 young kids. You are like a statistic there. So here, I just popped it up on the screen. So if you're one of our video viewers, you're going to be able to see some of the stuff we're talking about. So there it is. I did not make it up. There's the big headline, Senate passes trillion, because people probably said, there's no way it's trillion, Mike. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. It would probably be billion. No, it is in fact trillions. We spend trillions now, which is just so funny. Anyways, so in the plan, big ticket number 1. I know it's kind of hard to see some of this stuff. I'll be zooming in and do what I can. $1,400 stimulus checks for a lot of people. Now, granted, they're all income qualifiers. So if you're an individual or married, you got to make a certain amount of money. But if you make within that normal amount of money, as the majority of Americans do, you as an individual will be getting $1,400 pretty quickly, very likely. If you're married, times that by 2. Quick math, Tana. That's a
2,800.
Oh, okay, good. I went really slow. Now I'm concerned people don't know if I can put those 2 numbers together. But I was trying to let you have it. So you get $2,800, right? That's a decent amount of money. Now you lump on 2 little monkeys onto that process, 2 little kiddos, and what do you got? $5,600 per household. Pretty incredible. Oh,
so this doesn't include my 2 kids that are in college.
Nah, that's their own issue. Right. So there's issues with dependents and non-dependents. So I don't know if if they're dependent on your tax return, maybe you can claim them. Otherwise, they themselves would need to go claim their own stimulus check. But no, they'd be eligible for it. But it's kind of fascinating, and we've talked about this before. Stimulus is important for the people that are hurting. Help is important for people that are challenging. The reality was, a year ago when COVID hit, what happened? The government shut us down. It wasn't the people that shut us down. The government asked us to close our businesses, close the doors, turn off the lights, kind of a thing. And so I can appreciate the expectation that the government should be helping out the people in need because they mandated this. Never really been a situation like that before where the government has asked people to shut their businesses down in California for a year. So to that point, I can appreciate the fact that the old government is stepping in and helping. The problem is it's blanket statement, right? They're just they're throwing money at everybody. The reality, Tana, you and I, what do we deal with? What age group?
Well, those that are approaching retirement and those that are in retirement.
Right. We deal with the adults, right? Yeah. And most of the adults that are retired, they've got their Social Security. Right. They've got their pension. They've got their annuity. They've got their income. They have whatever they have. And the reality is money is nice, cute, fun, exciting, right? But how many of our clients really needed all these stimulus checks?
Yeah. No.
Not many. Now, granted, to be fair, I do know clients that have lost their businesses and have hardships and have lost jobs. Those are the people that we need to be helping.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, the government doesn't feel that way. They think that helping everybody, somehow we're helping ourselves, when the reality is oh, money is a funny thing, right? If we ran a surplus of money, if we didn't have budget deficits and fiscal deficits and national debt and all these things, honestly, then I could care less, right? Spend away, right? If you have the money to give away, hot dog, kind of like Tana. Deep pockets. Deep pockets, Tana. I expect you to give that 5,600 to the first person you see on the street.
All right, I'll do it.
Really?
I would.
You heard it here first. So I'm going to go stand in front of your house.
Okay.
That way I'm the first person you see when you walk out there.
You don't need it.
What? How dare you? You know how many kids I have? That's like,
yes,
I'm like the family circus cartoons at my house.
You have such a beautiful family. Those cute girls. Oh my gosh.
So everybody's getting some more money. Woohoo! Like I said, I appreciate it, and I want the people that need help to get all the help that they need. Absolutely. That's what us as a society, as a first world country, should be doing. Spending boatloads of money we don't have, though, for no phenomenal reason, so that everybody can get a new iPhone 12 and an electric bike. Don't really love it.
No, I totally agree.
So it's interesting. Anyways, moving on from my opinion on that, when maybe it's none of my business. Maybe it's a good thing. Let's be fair. It's a good thing, because what's the reality? The reality is 2/3 of our GDP is people spending money, right? People go out and go bonkers. So I'm going to switch from this for a second. Look, I'm on the, we've talked about this before. I talk about it all the time, right? I love the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. Don't you all? Get some amens or something to that. The Atlanta Fed. Woo, woo. Anyways, obviously what's cool about them, we've talked about this a lot. They do what's called a nowcast. Nowcast is a fancy word they invented. So don't think it's anything versus that. All they're doing is they're using high frequency data to estimate current quarter GDP. So you kind of see on this website I'm on, right in the middle of the page, as of March 5th, first quarter annualized GDP is over 8%. What? That's pretty good. Anybody?
Yeah.
We're running on all cylinders, man. From a GDP, remember, 2/3 of it is people spending money. Another third of it is manufacturing, and manufacturing is booming right now. So let's think about this. People, the government, remember stimulus bill, we need to give people money. They're hurting, and then people will spend money and not hurt as much. Well, wait a second. Wouldn't the GDP prior to the stimulus bill being so high for the first quarter indicate that people are already spending?
Yeah, that's a good point.
A ton of money. Yeah, sounds like everybody's hurting. Not. I mean, it's crazy. In any case, targeted help, very warranted. Broad sweeping, give everybody money in America so they vote for you. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now I look like a jerk. It's just getting insane at this point. The GDP, the economic data is improving, corporate earnings. Remember, I joked about this a couple of weeks ago. Apple in the fourth quarter of last year, remember, the midst of the pandemic, California had just shut back down all the way because all the bad numbers. We're melting into abyss. And they have their best quarter ever selling iPhone 12s. What? God, geez, if you were to describe a financial crisis to me, that is one right there. People are hurting so bad, according to the headlines, that Apple was able to sell an unprecedented amount of $1,300 cell phones.
Right, it doesn't make sense.
Anyways, sorry. This is supposed to be a financial planning show about individual financial planning to help you, the individual, retire better. I'm not sure what it's turning into. Tana, you need to steer us better. That's really why you're here.
I know, you're right.
You're supposed to host
I'll
us
work
in
on that.
Host us in the right direction. Right. Like, you got to put up the cattle chute for me. Otherwise, I just get too rowdy here. So anyways, another fun part of the $1.9 trillion bill is $350 billion goes to state and local governments who did a poor job of running their own finances. I might have changed the verbiage on that, but that's really what it means. It will also help pay for some more unemployment benefits.
I heard that it was going to help federal employees with they've had to, take care of children at home and things like that, so that there's some specific benefits that are going to go directly to federal employees.
Yeah, no. And so that's what happens in all these bills is there are some really targeted groups where you do see a lot of good help go to. Obviously small businesses, things like that are very appropriate. Then they will secretly give like 25 billion to like the art museum in New York. You're like, what? Anyways. The other thing that was a fun fact, obviously everyone watches the news. You kind of saw all of this playing out. There was a big component where President Biden and everybody were trying to put the $15 minimum wage in there. Kind of fun fact. This is a COVID virus stimulus bill to save people from the COVID.
Not sure what kind of on the
federal minimum wage mandates have to do with COVID crisis. Especially from an economic standpoint, when you say, well, wait a second, businesses are already suffering. If you suddenly mandate they have to pay more on top of suffering.
Good point.
What was that? Just the final nail in the coffin?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Anyways, fun news though is under budget reconciliation, which is a scammy way to get bills through without getting a majority vote in Congress. You can't legally change federal minimum wage laws. So they pulled it out. Some people are not happy about that. I am personally happy about it. One day, if anyone would like to ask me, I will bore you with the statistical reasons why $15 minimum wage is not a good economic move. But hey, what do I know? The other fun fact is the American Rescue Plan got passed through. Any idea what this one is, Tana? Looks like a snake. Remember Dodgeball, the Dodgeball movie? Blazer, like the big scary guys. Come on, snakes.
No,
Cobra.
Cobra. Yes. The
Come
health
on,
insurance.
Man.
Okay. The name throws me off.
Tana's in Texas. She's 2 hours later than me. I've been up since like 4:30 this morning.
Right.
You should be just
I'm
prime loaded. You were the one telling me about this the other day.
Right. Okay. Because I've actually been on Cobra the last couple of months.
That's because we fired her for clarity.
No. Which has been a new experience. It is very expensive, and you really have to stay on top of Cobra. Cobra is a tough one, but this could be good news for those people that do need to, use Cobra for covering up a gap in coverage.
That's huge.
Yeah. So they could actually see 85% of their premiums being subsidized.
Which is huge because Cobra is expensive, right? You pay 102% of whatever your employer health insurance is.
I know it personally.
If you get fired.
Yes.
And so what they're saying is we'll drop that. They only have to pay 15%.
Yeah.
Now it's limited. I think it was like September or something. Maybe it goes to.
Yeah, it's a short term, definitely.
But still, 6 months or whatever Band-Aid.
Yeah, April to September. Yes.
Then unemployment rolls up, so that's exciting. Stimulus thing's funny. We were talking about iPhones a little bit ago. Last week it was funny. I wake up, I get up early. I like to come in early. In fact, that's why I'm dressed like this. I don't normally put on a suit and tie when it's dark to, come over here by myself for hours. Maybe I'd make myself feel more important, but I'm just not there. So anyways, last week I get up early and, of course I've got some stupid text on my phone that says, "Hey, Mike, this is Wells Fargo." Yes, I bank at Wells Fargo. Now everybody knows. Now you can judge me. But the cool thing about banking at Wells Fargo is supposedly I have like 30,000 accounts. So, hopefully when they open all those accounts for me, hopefully they put money in them too. That was a Wells Fargo, fraud joke from a couple of years ago. I knew some people will get it, but anyways, where was I on this story? So I get this text, and the text says, "Hey, you should probably check your credit card. We've got some suspicious activity." And I thought, oh, that's woo, happy Wednesday or whatever it was.
Terrible.
And so, and then I get over to the office real quick here, and I'm sitting here, and and they sent you an email with like the suspicious charges. And on I guess when was this? This was March 3rd for charges on March 2nd, something like that. Anyways, so I open it up. And here it says, hey, Mike, look at, congratulations. You spent $800 at Apple. And I thought, well, that's weird. I don't remember doing that yesterday. And, my wife didn't tell me. She got me a early birthday present. My birthday's not till July. So this is, plus we don't even have $800. So how'd I spend it? No. There you go. I keep going down this dumb path here.
Oh dear.
I think I'm nervous today being on like camera, being videotaped.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
It's totally different.
Not comfortable.
I'm doing my nervous dumb joking.
Yeah, it's out of comfort zone.
So anyways, I'm suspicious of this. So the first thing I do is actually I call Apple, because the last thing you want to do, because I see clients do this once in a while, is they'll say, that wasn't me, tell Wells Fargo, and then Wells Fargo cancels the card. And then you find out 3 hours later, your spouse is like, oh, hey, I did get you a surprise. And you're like, what? So it was too early. It was only 5 a.m. I'm not going to call my wife and everybody and see, what people are doing or, where they're spending our money. And so I call Apple first. And I say, hey, just wanted to call. And, supposedly I spent $800 yesterday. Can I give you my credit card number and my information? And they look it up and they say, oh, yep, here it is. Yeah. You bought a new phone, but let's verify your information. And I say, okay, my name's Mike Mansfield. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's a problem. I said, well, why is it a problem? They said, well, the phone you ordered yesterday, why would you have typed in the name John Gabriel if your name's Mike? And I said, oh, I don't know. I forgot I bought a phone. I must have fat fingered all of that. Somehow the 4 letters of Mike must be next to the 4 letters of John. I apologize. So anyways, through the course of the conversation, what do we learn? We learned that someone has kindly stolen my credit card, has kindly bought themselves an iPhone. And Apple, which this is kind of like the best part of the show, is I'm just talking to the dude. The guy's friendly. And I'm like, what? Really? Well, where were you shipping it? And he gives me the shipping address, which was in Maryland. And he gives me the John's phone number. And then, and then I said, well, what was I buying, John? Since I'm being so nice, it's kind of like stimulus, right? I'm just kindly stimulating somebody else here. And they said, iPhone 11. I said, no, that can't be right. Yeah. Mr. Appleman, that can't be right. What are you talking about? I mean, the price matches, but I said to the guy, it's like, why would he buy an iPhone 11 if I'm paying for it? Why wouldn't he get the 12? 12, that's a
I want a 12.
That's a sweet ride, man.
I still have the 8.
Nice features. So anyways, so I hang up with Apple. Obviously, what we've discovered is, my credit card has been stolen. And so really a lot of this story is about the listeners, right? You guys do need to be aware of your spending. Yeah. You need to check your credit cards. You need to be diligent. You need, identity theft alerts. You need all of this stuff. Unfortunately, we live in a world where this stuff happens. So I call Wells Fargo and I say, bummerville. It looks like they, got my info. It looks like something happened. Wells Fargo is awesome in that respect. So they cancel all the charges. They cancel my credit card. They send me a new credit card overnight. It shows up the next day so that I get no gap in wasting my money. See, that's what was awesome. I had this happen a couple years ago. And I opted for like regular mail, even though they'd pay for the overnight. I don't know what I was thinking. And so like it took like 10 days for the new credit card to show up. But then you realize you're like some weird pauper or ever. You're like, oh, wait, hang on. Is there an ATM around the corner? I need some money. So anyways, so now I'm annoyed, right? Now it's like, I don't know, like 7 o'clock in the morning. I've wasted 2 hours of my day dealing with John's new phone issues. And, but I'm annoyed because I like to get in early. I like to get things done. And there's nothing worse than having a problem/distraction like that. So anyways, I call the phone number. I have it here on a Post-it still. So anyone who wants to call John Gabriel, his number is 240-660-8755. There it is. What's the secret? John and I are tight now. So I called John. at like 7 a.m. Now he's in Maryland, so it's like 10 a.m. And he does the sleepy voice. Yeah, he's like, oh, hello. I'm like, geez, John, did I wake you up, man? It's 10 a.m. Let's get moving, buddy. Oh, hey, this is John. Who's this? I'm like, oh, hey, I was calling about your iPhone 11 order from yesterday. You know what he says at first, which was the best part, was he's like, "Oh, I don't speak English." And I say, "But you're speaking English right now."
Oh, that is good.
And he says, "Well, I don't speak a lot of English." And I said, "But you just understood what I said." Like what? Like what? What's happening here? Anyways,
so awesome.
Yeah, but he was relatively friendly. He just sounded a little sleepy. So I actually feel bad. I woke him up. Now I'm a jerk. Anyway, so I said, "Well, I'm calling about your Apple phone order," and he just kind of went, "Oh yeah, the phone." I said, "I'm just curious, John. Why didn't you get the 12? Why didn't you step up and get the nice 12? You get one of those like Pro Maxes or something, man. You can make like full feature videos on them and stuff. They're awesome." And he kind of poo-pooed it. He said, "No, I just need the 11. It's all I need, man." I was like, "Well, you should have got the 12. I mean, if I'm going to pay for it, I would think that, if you need it that bad, man, let's do you right."
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
By the way, I called with a blocked number. So the fact that he even answered, I was impressed.
Right?
And so he starts doing the like, "Oh, wait, I didn't order a phone." I'm like, "John, come on, man. What? I thought we were friends by now." And I was very nice about it. I wasn't mean to him or anything. And I just kind of, I did happen to give him like a 15-second lecture on, hey, times are tough for people, and you probably shouldn't be out, using people's credit cards to buy things. But as your parent here in this moment, we got to try to teach you some basic ethics and morals. So, hey, do you think you could try to be a little more responsible with your activities in life? And he's just kind of, I mean, he stayed on the phone, which was the weirdest part. Like, click, but it was pretty funny. So unfortunately,
John, maybe you helped him change his ways. Maybe he's going to rethink the next time he wants to.
I have an iPhone 11 box. My wife said we should get some dog poop off our front lawn and wrap it up and send it to him.
Because you have his address.
But I'm not going to, because in America, that would be some kind of felony on my part.
Right.
I did the wrong thing. So how dare you, Tana, suggest that?
I know. I'm sorry.
Bad Tana.
I just can't believe you had his phone number. That is unbelievable. You got to call him. That is.
And I still have it. I said to him when we were leaving, I was like, "Yeah, John, I might check in on you from time to time. See how you're doing." Now he's gonna be freaked out all the time. Every time his phone rings, okay. It's like it's the Overwatcher.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. The watchdog.
Yeah. What's the problem with this radio? With this recording this thing, I've noticed there's a couple things, everybody. One is we don't know how to edit it, so there's that as a problem. And number two, now that I'm looking at it, I don't see the time. So it says it's recording.
It says 27 minutes and 3 seconds. So
really, I don't see that.
I can see it. Top left.
Well, so we've actually covered 4 minutes of information in 30. That's
right.
That's not good. Anyways, all right, let's move on here real quick. So on the screen, everybody can see I'm on an economics blog that I love to follow. Last week, job numbers came out, non-farm payrolls came out at almost 400,000 jobs created. That's called good news, right? Things, not perfect news, but remember, California is still shut down.
Right.
Fifth, sixth largest economy in the world is shut down, kind of. We're starting to create jobs. GDP is improving. Earnings from companies are stronger than expected, beating all analysts and estimates. Things are getting better. I mean, home sales are still going through the roof. Everything is bonkers crazy. Stock market got a little finicky. We've talked about that just based on interest rates going up. That's its own conversation. But my opinion is also a nothing burger. I think interest rates are played out for the moment. I think the stock market is going up. Remember, S&P 500, let's call it 4,200 by year end at the moment, kind of based on the tea leaves. So that's a positive. The other cool thing about being able to see this stuff on TV is I like to follow these websites that track high frequency data. High frequency data is, instead of having to wait till the end of the month to say what happened, we get this stuff weekly of what's going on. For example, it's hard to see here, and this is an image, so I can't highlight it. So see, this is a work in progress. We're going to figure this out. But the second from the bottom on the screen says TSA checkpoint data. Oh, that's weird, because remember, we're always talking about what's happening. And so you see towards the right, it says negative 55%. That's year over year. So over the last year, people going through airports is still down 55%. Wow. Remember, a while ago when I checked this high frequency data, it was 95%.
Yeah.
So it's improving.
It is.
Yes. The next one is month over month. So in just the last month, it's up 45%. And in the last week, it's up 5%.
Yeah.
Guess what? We can act all glum and bummed and need stimulus and dire and tragic and confused. But the reality is, behind the scenes, people are moving.
Yeah, that's great news.
I'm moving and a grooving. You see the other one, hotel occupancy, right in the middle of the page. Year over year, it's down 23%. So it's still soft. But in the last month, it's up 8%. Last week, it's up 3%. More people are going to hotels. Yeah. That can't be right. We're supposed to all be hiding in our house. Speaking of which, just on the news this morning, the CDC came out and said, if you have all your vaccine shots and you wait 2 weeks, you can be indoors with other people with no masks.
Very cool.
Now, I want anyone to raise their hands that was indoors with masks on, with anybody ever. What? Come on. Anyways. It's crazy. Jobless claims improving a little bit. All those things improving a little bit. And then what's fun is on these economic trackers, they track all of this COVID data, which we've talked about so much in the last year. And I'm just talking fast now because we're running out of time. We try to keep this right around 30 minutes so that it doesn't become too boring. But Tana spent so much time on that stupid credit card fraud story that here we are. All right, Tana, here's a chart in front of you. I can zoom it in a little bit. Okay, can you see this chart?
Yes.
Read the title of the chart to the people that can't see it.
Masked states versus no mask states.
Interesting chart, right? This is daily positive tests per 100,000 people in mask states versus no mask states since December. Now, Tana, for the people that can't see it, between those two lines, how would you possibly describe them?
They match up.
That can't be right. One should be going straight up and one should be going straight down.
There's no spread.
I mean, that's what's fascinating about this. This is why I love data, right? I hate the news. I hate the headlines. I hate watching, CNBC and Fox and all these things because all it is propaganda pushing. But then when you track data, it tells such interesting stories. And I mean, here's just such a fascinating story about masks is whether you're in a mandated mask state or a no mandated mask state, and they've got them all mapped up here on the screen for the people watching this. At the end of the day, the positivity rate of COVID tests has been in many respects identical.
Right. Yep.
And so not to say that it's not helpful, not to say that it's not useful or anything like that, but it's just to say that the way that we discuss and describe these things is, I don't know, a little confusing maybe.
I agree.
Again, I'm not trying to see what other data I want to talk about today on here, but I think that's it. I think we should probably kind of wrap up that stuff from here. So here's the deal. We would love everyone to start watching the videos, subscribe to the videos. So that way you're aware of them. They download for you. So like I said, we're going to figure this out on YouTube. We're going to figure this out on Rumble. Obviously, you're going to have availability to this on the podcast. We want everybody to listen, to watch. We want to share with your friends. But most importantly right now, while Tana and I are figuring this mess out on how to do all this junk, we would love some constructive criticism. So anybody, thoughts, opinions, the way that we look on TV, the, whatever the background, the way the articles are showing up, if things seem funky or the sound sucks or whatever the deal is, just let us know. We would appreciate that kind of criticism right now because we don't know what we're doing. Tana might, but I have no clue what I'm doing at this point. I'm good at what I'm good at, which is helping people with retirement income planning, financial planning, investment advice, taxes. When it comes to technology of running a video and radio show,
at the same time,
don't have a clue. Don't have a clue what I'm doing. So anyways, we love our listeners. We now love our viewers. Oh my gosh, this is getting exciting. We appreciate all of your feedback. We appreciate your patience with us. And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, you want to set up a meeting with us, this is what we're here for. Give us a call, 805-500-7035. That's 805-500-7035. You can visit our main website, thelindgroup.com. Lynd is Lynd. What's funny is somehow we can pop up banners of that stuff, Tana. See?
We're working on that.
We've failed already.
So we're going to work on that.
Thanks for your time. Everyone have a great week, and we'll be back soon.
Bye.